Marriages in the Philippines dropped by 10% in 2024. So why are foreign men still flying here hoping to find a Filipino wife? When you really think about that question, it's fascinating. On one side, marriage rates are declining, but on the other side, foreign men are still arriving hopeful, believing that the Philippines is one of the last places in the world where women still dream of settling down. So today, we pull those threads together and find out what is really happening, both statistically and emotionally. The latest data from the Philippine Statistics Authority, or PSA, shows that from 2023 to 2024, registered marriages plummeted by over 10%. That's not a small dip. That's a cultural shift happening in real time. That's the second straight year of decline, and we are nowhere near the pre-pandemic levels. This historic decline, validated by data available as of August 2025, confirms a major shift. The Philippines is changing, and this cultural shift has massive implications for everyone, affecting everything from social norms to population growth. Pause for a moment and really absorb that. Marriage in the Philippines, once seen as almost as a default life path, is no longer guaranteed. It's not assumed, it's becoming optional, and many are opting out. Hi guys, this is Heart Seekers and Horizons of the Philippines, and today we're diving deep into this official report. Are Filipinas still marriage-minded? Is the traditional family unit crumbling? We need to know what this implies, especially if you're considering finding your future Filipino wife here. We're going to break down the 7 major reasons behind this dramatic drop. Let's find out why many Filipinos are not tying the knot anymore. Before we even unpack these reasons, I want you to imagine an average Filipino couple. Young, working, planning, dreaming. Ask them about marriage 10 years ago, and most would say, yes, someday, soon. Ask many today, and you might hear silence, hesitation, or even a gentle smile followed by, maybe, but not now. And that's where our journey begins. Let's start with the biggest factor. Economic pressure. As I've mentioned in the previous video, many are thinking a lot of times if marriage is still worth it in this economy. When the cost of living increases faster than salaries, love alone becomes difficult to sustain. The pressure starts with the wedding itself. Because of our close family ties, many couples feel they can't have an intimate wedding. Though thankfully, more couples are choosing to go that route, often opting for simpler civil ceremonies, which actually accounted for a huge share of marriages in 2023, specifically 42.9% of all unions. But the real relentless pressure is the responsibility of raising a family. Many men here in the Philippines are struggling just to provide for themselves, especially if they are the breadwinner for their extended family. While close family ties are important, but here in the Philippines, it can become toxic, where the breadwinner is obliged to provide for everyone, and refusing is seen as irresponsible, often leading to deep family friction and resentment. When finances stretch thinner than emotions can handle, marriage becomes a burden instead of a blessing. Raising a family is expensive, especially for minimum wage earners. You need to provide a safe environment, food, clothing, handle emergencies, and secure a better future for your children, ensuring quality education and healthcare, which are not always easily accessible, especially in dense urban areas. We have learned that financial struggles are one of the most common reasons couples misunderstand and fight. More Filipinos and Filipinas want a life with less stress, and they see the potential financial drain of marriage as a huge deterrent, choosing peace of mind over title. Which brings us seamlessly to our second point, shifting priorities. This is not a rejection of marriage. This is prioritization. For both Filipinos and Filipinas, marriage is something that can wait. They are making sure they prioritize their economic well-being and personal goals first. This means investing in education, careers, and stability, particularly for the age group of 25 to 29, which surprisingly still accounted for the largest share of newlyweds, with 81,121 marriages, indicating that even those who marry are waiting until their late 20s. And I totally get their point. Like I said, financial struggles can lead to misunderstandings, and many have realized that being financially stable can bring peace and harmony to a relationship. Imagine two versions of the same couple. One married at 21, struggling to survive. Another married at 29, financially secure and emotionally prepared. Same love, different outcomes. Instead of saying I do, many are making sure that they are prepared financially, emotionally, and physically. This is a pragmatic generation, prioritizing security over sentimentality. Reason number three is cohabitation. This one is big and quietly reshaping the culture. Yes, the Philippines may be religious, but more people are convinced to live together first before marrying. The belief is solid. You will never truly know someone unless you've lived with them, sharing daily bills and responsibilities, observing their habits under stress. Many of us don't want to get trapped in toxic or abusive relationships. So before jumping into the forever commitment, couples want to make sure they are compatible and that their partner is truly their forever person. This is caution, not rebellion. Aside from that, let's address a painful truth. Many Filipino men just don't ask their Filipinas to get married. And what can the Philippine women do? They wait and directly tell him. And if he really won't propose and she truly wants marriage, she leaves. I have seen Filipinas leaving 5, 7, 10, and even 15-year relationships because the woman want to get married while the man did not, highlighting a difference in commitment timelines that often costs the woman her prime years. That brings us to a fear most outsiders don't recognize. What if you marry someone and there is no way out? This is a major structural barrier. Reason number 4, the lack of divorce. I have personally heard this from people I know. They won't get married because, aside from the Vatican City, we are the only country that does not have divorce. People fear that they have no way out of a marriage once it becomes toxic or abusive, creating a sense of finality that is terrifying and financially dangerous. For many, marriage is not a promise. It is a prison sentence if it goes wrong. Of course, we have annulment, but it is incredibly expensive and a very long, draining process, requiring psychological assessments and court battles that can take years and cost hundreds of thousands of pesos. Too many Filipinos have seen a parent become a physical or emotional punching bag and still feel unable to run away because of religious, societal beliefs and the simple lack of divorce. The risk is simply too high for the new generation to ignore. When freedom has no exit, commitment becomes frightening. Reason number 5 is a philosophical one, a growing disbelief in marriage. And this one is not fueled by trauma, but awareness, especially with the younger generations. There is an increasing number of people here in the Philippines who believe that marriage is just a piece of paper, a transaction. They don't see it as something valuable in and of itself, unlike their parents' generation, where it was the only acceptable path. For them, what is more valuable is the quality of the relationship they actually have. They argue that even married couples still cheat. So what makes that piece of paper so special? Their commitment is not defined by a legal document, but by mutual effort and loyalty. A commitment that can exist perfectly well outside a Roman Catholic Church ceremony, which accounted for only 31.4% of marriages in 2023. Let's quickly wrap up the final two reasons. Reason number 6. There is a rise in Filipinas who don't want to get married for purely personal reasons, including those who actively refuse to have children or experience motherhood, choosing independence and self-fulfillment instead, viewing marriage and childbearing as incompatible with their professional goals. And finally, reason number 7, the rise of same-sex relationships. The Philippines has become more accepting and open to the LGBTQ plus community, even if some religious communities still express opposition. However, since same-sex marriages are not yet legal here, thousands of committed couples who want to formalize their union are prevented from registering, which contributes to the overall decline in marriage numbers, a legal hurdle that suppresses the total count. So now that we've looked at the reasons, we circle back to the question that matters most, not just statistically, but humanly. So what does this all imply? Are Filipinas not marriage-minded anymore? Are they not family-oriented? Are they no longer traditional? Personally, I don't think Filipinas have stopped being family-oriented. The core desire is still there. But due to these massive factors, the economy, shifting priorities, and past painful experiences, Filipinas have had to adapt and adjust. This reflects what the Commission on Population and Development, or CPD Executive Director, Undersecretary Lisa Grace Bersales said. The decline reflects changing realities as families of today come in many forms, including single-parent and cohabiting households. And that is the key word: forms, not absence, transformation. Commitment, especially among the younger generation, is seen differently. Casual dating is becoming common. Everything has changed, and we have to be honest about that. The traditional path is now just one of many options. So if you are a foreign man watching this, should you be thinking twice or thrice about coming here to find your future Filipino wife? Would I say it will be harder to find a traditional Filipino wife? It might be challenging because of these widespread changes. The odds of finding a woman who sees marriage as the only path have certainly gone down. But is it impossible? Absolutely not. There are still millions of Filipinas who deeply believe in marriage and remain family-oriented. You just have to be aware of the new realities, respect their reasons for caution, and prove that you can offer the financial and emotional stability they are now prioritizing, offering a true partnership that makes the risk of marriage worthwhile. What do you think is the biggest factor causing this decline? Let me know your perspective in the comments below. If you're planning to date here in the Philippines, watch this video first. It might save you from falling for the wrong Filipina. I talk about 10 types of Filipinas you should avoid, and trust me, it's something you don't want to skip. Once again, this is Heart Secrets and Horizons of the Philippines. See you in my next video. Bye!